Are you ready?
Ready.
All right, here is my first question. So listen to the sentence. Today's discussion will have a big effect on Bernie, but will have little effect on David. How do you spell effect where it is used twice in this sentence? Marcia, fast on the draw. Go ahead.
With an E.
And I used effect twice. So.
Oh, wait.
Okay, so let me read your sentence again. So tell me, today's discussion will have a big effect on Bernie, but will not affect David. So the first one, today's discussion will have a big effect on Bernie.
With an E.
And the second one?
A.
You are
Very
correct.
One is a noun, one is a verb.
Do both of you agree with that?
We do concur. Yes.
Concur. Okay. So here's
She's so
what.
smart.
Wait, you just jinxed me. I lost.
No. Professor Chambers says also this interesting stuff. The noun effect and the verb effect sound exactly the same, and that is why we sometimes misspell them. People who claim to pronounce them differently, as in effect and affect, are kidding themselves, or maybe talking to 2-year-olds.
Yes.
That's from Professor Chambers.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people make that mistake.
Yes.
Question 2, what is wrong with this sentence? There were less people in the lineup at the grocery store. David.
There are fewer people.
Very good.
Very
Do we so
Yes,
we're in agreement on that?
We're in agreement.
Professor Chambers says this, though. Almost no one uses fewer nowadays, though it is prescribed for countable things, as in that sentence. Another example, fewer dogs, but less milk. Eventually, it may be lost, but for now, it's worth standing up for.
Unless, of course, you're going to use it comparatively. There were less people in the grocery store line than in the past, or then it's kind of colloquial and I think acceptable.
Really? Oh.
There's a question for the
I'm going to ask him that.
It's a comparison.
That you know,
There's 300 emails here for you.
Please, Marcia, please. Okay, I got to get through this now.
Okay.
I'm not checking emails right now. All right. Question 3. Is this sentence correct or incorrect? I really don't like that new exhibit, which is on at the art gallery.
Incorrect.
Bernie, yes, why?
That is on?
Yes.
At the art
Thank you.
gallery?
Yes, I really don't like that new exhibit. That is
That
on
is on.
at the art gallery. Can you explain?
No, I can't, because that's one that I have trouble with all the time, too. So let's see what
It's
the
a tricky
professor
one.
says.
Which is when there's a
Which-
choice.
Yes, the professor says every editor since about 1960 would change the which to that, which you did, which is now used for non-restrictive relative only, as in, the old Buick, which was my dad's, is now in the wrecking yard. And that is his answer.
Oh,
All right,
interesting.
we'll move on.
Okay.
All right, wait, we're doing well
Wow,
here.
this professor is getting complicated.
Isn't he?
These are the sticky details of language that are really...
But we're all taking notes
I know, this is inside
I think
stuff.
David's in awe.
versus
He's
which.
just, his mouth is open. He's in awe.
I probably wouldn't gotten that one.
Really?
Put food.
You know what? Let me just stop and ask you though. Do you guys have any pet peeves as far as language? Does anything really irks you when you hear?
Well, I think I mentioned it about spelling and
Spelling.
and language issues too. I mean, it's the verb agreement, noun and verb
The verb
agreement.
agreement,
That's one that
Yeah,
drives me
that's
crazy. That's coming up. Yeah, yes, that's
David, what
I
about
have
you?
trigger words that bother me, and the biggest one is blaze.
yeah.
We never use blaze in conversation. Oh, good gracious, look down the street, there's a blaze. No one has ever said that.
No,
It's
and-
never been said.
But you know how we fall into that is you try to change the word.
Fire. You don't want to say fire,
Fire
75 times.
But
Yeah.
you're right, blazes.
Blaze.
I'm going to make a new cool word. It's blazing.
It's blazing.
It's blazing.
And that's I-N apostrophe, right? Blazing.
But here's my pet peeve with language. The word your and your.
That
It
came up.
seems to be disappearing when you see people write on Facebook or on Twitter,
Yeah.
what have you. Instead of why you are, the contraction, your, they just write Y-O-U-R, as in the belongs to your, something belongs to your
Instead of you are, the
coach.
contraction.
And
Right.
you and I both teach
Yeah.
in a college setting, and you see that.
You see that, and I'm not sure why it's lost. Now there's only one way to write your, whether it's something
Well, it's
that
one
belongs
letter
to you
less.
or
It's faster.
yeah, but I just don't understand how that disappeared and why it's so.
Another question
Yeah.
for Professor Chambers.
Bring
All right.
back the apostrophe.
Okay. Do you really want to be put to the test now?
Okay.
I'm going to give you some
You mean
scholars.
that wasn't the test?
That was the warm-up, David.
Really?
That's a warm-up. Okay, here's the test for you. I have spelling words. I'm just going to give them to each each of you, all right? These are tough, though. These are not easy. Marcia, spell moccasin.
Oh, and I own it.
M-O-C-C-A-S. Oh, shoot.
I-N. Correct. Very good. That's one of the hardest.
That's good. I was going to say one C. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a really hard one. Okay, Bernie. Annihilate. Annihilate.
A-N-N-I-L-I-A-T-E.
No, that's an H.
E. I need a buzzer here.
I think it's.
Annihilate.
I think you added an extra I.
What? I don't really? I know. Okay,
Anni.
I don't think, but it's incorrect. Anyway,
Okay.
I'll say that. David, why don't you give it a try?
Is it A-N-N-H-I-L-A-T-E?
No.
A-N-I-A-L-A-T-E.
No. I'm just going
Oh
to
my
tell
gosh,
the
there
three
we
of you.
go.
Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
H-I-L-A.
The way to spell annihilate is A-N-N-I-H-I-L-A-T-E.
You know, that's how
That's a toughie.
that's how I spelled it the first time, and I
Yeah.
thought you added an I, so I ripped an I out.
David, you
And
need
I
to
didn't have the
highlight.
H.
Damn.
David needs his own word.
Okay.
Another tough one, David. Myrrh.
Myrrh.
Yes.
Like
Myrrh.
frankincense and myrrh?
M-Y-R-R-H.
I know.
I'm sure I've
Oh, smarty
seen
pants.
this.
Wait, give David a chance here.
We
Why?
3
Why?
Ks of Orient are.
Do you know, if you'd asked me like 3 months ago on Christmas, I probably could have got this.
Go ahead, try it.
I know it's all obvious, so I'm not going to do well here. Is it
M-Y-R-R-H.
is it just M-E-R?
You are way off.
Yeah,
I would,
Sorry.
M-U-H-R?
M-U-H-R? Is that
No.
M-U-R.
No.
M-U-R-H.
just M-R?
Do I have the right myrrh here?
Frankincense and
Yeah,
myrrh?
the spelling I have is M-Y-R-R-H.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is that right? Okay.
R-R-H.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Interesting.
I
Yeah.
had no idea that's how to spell it.
Bernie claims to have been to Mass, where he would have
This
read
morning.
a passage.
That was at Christmas time.
You know, if that came up
We're
on a
coming
piece
up
of
to
copy
Easter.
that I was supposed to read on the air, I'd just be like, frankincense and something else those the 3 guys brought.
This just in.
Frankincense
one.
and cinnamon.
This one.
They had to be cinnamon. There's always cinnamon.
This one, I got so much email on. I know people are going to freak when they hear this. All right, here is a sentence, and I want you to tell me if it is incorrect or correct. She loves the man who she sent the present to. She loves the man.
It's wrong.
Boom. Yeah,
It's
it's
wrong.
wrong.
What happened to our noisemaker?
But nobody's
people?
heard
it.
People?
We all jumped in.
All right, Bernie, go.
Boom, the objective, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody ever uses whom, though. I get
That's-
emails about
Okay,
it.
Yes.
Nobody
thank you.
ever uses it.
Nobody ever uses it. Now, was that the only mistake? Let me read
Oh,
that again.
yeah.
No, I think there's
She
not.
leaves the man, and Bernie says it's whom she sent the present to.
Because there's a
You don't
dangling
have-
participle.
Yeah, no,
No,
yeah.
end a sentence on a
Yeah.
preposition.
Do
Yeah.
we know
hate
how to
that.
correct that sentence?
Yeah, rewrite. Where's my
No.
writing?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
So
it's
if
a
we were to,
Just she left the man.
Thank
Leave
you.
it there.
Yeah, she just left him. Why did she leave him?
It was a pretty good present, though. I heard it was a diamond ring.
Wow.
she loves the man to whom she sent the
Yes.
present.
Yes.
You were asked. Now, what is interesting though, is Professor Chambers also said what David said, and that is that nobody uses whom
That's right.
anymore, and it is pretty much dead and buried.
We have dangling
So-
participles
So
all the
does that
time.
make it
Who?
right?
Yeah. Well, who?
There's
I don't
also
think- who is
who's,
becoming more acceptable.
W-H-O-S-E versus W-H-O apostrophe
Yeah.
S.
Yeah.
However, Professor Chambers also says that it does survive after the preposition, as in to. So
Mhm.
to whom you would still use whom, because to who sounds
Yeah,
really
of course.
odd.
And it's
Yeah.
But
so-
otherwise, David, you're right. You know, people just don't use whom any longer.
But I think it's still important to use it and to incorporate it, especially to avoid those awkward sorts of sentences, even when spoken just in conversation. It's important.
Oh,
Bring
it's
it back.
important for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so you bring up a good point, because I have to ask all three of you. I mean, you are on the air, you're reaching millions and millions of people, and so people look to you as setting a certain standard of English. So how do you reflect the standard? Is it reflecting the changes in language? Because language is dynamic, right? It's always changing. Or do you tend to adopt a more formal, conservative approach? Not necessarily what's being spoken out there.
Well,
Bernie?
I think we have to probably be a little more correct in what we do, because our listeners are so discerning. you know, including Professor Chambers. I mean, I think we have to bend over backwards to try and get it right. We do have a language guide in our system that I hope everybody checks. And it could be a little out of date as to those words that we don't use anymore, as you're talking who and whom. But I think we have to try, at least try. You know.
But it is a balancing act. I mean,
Yeah.
there is the desire to get it right. There's also the desire not to be too stuffy and formal and
Right.
also representative of the way in which people communicate.
That's
Adding
my radio.
words like selfie.
Yes.
I think it's in Oxford now.
Okay. Time to get my coffee going.
Sometimes do you purposely throw in a colloquial phrase because it's
Oh, it's still chilly out there. -9. Yuck. It's Sunday. And it's still winter. Ciao for now.